afternoon, everybody. It's a beautiful day to be standing on a bridge that's only been closed 2 other times. So this is a pretty historic moment. For those who don't know me, I am Shannon Gimbroni. I know most of the Six family, but there are several here who are not aware of who I am. But since I'm a friend of the Six family, they've asked me to speak to you today. We're also fortunate to be here, standing together on the bridge for something that doesn't happen very often. This bridge was getting ready for its maiden voyage 118 years ago. And that's it's pretty telling that this bridge has been maintained well if we're able to stand here on something that is that old and in this great a condition. For over 40 years, trolley cars carried people across the bridge, and in the 1950s, the steel grating was put on so cars could come across. At that time, the toll was 10 cents to go across the bridge. So I went ahead and Googled what that would value today. Guess what it is? It's $1.26. So when you go back across, give an extra penny and quarter, would you?
You're welcome.
I know what I know about this bridge because somebody who knows more about bridges told me about it. I had lunch with Wayne Six last month, and he told me things that I didn't know. I'm sure you don't know, but I'm going to fill you in on a couple things today. Wayne's had an impact on all of our lives without us even knowing it. A lot of the work that happens on this bridge you never even see happening. A lot of it happens underneath it. Most of the maintenance is actually underneath the bridge, and he has actually looked at every single square inch of this bridge, and he's done it yearly. It's recorded. The condition is noted. It is replaced when it's needed. And Wayne has done that for us to keep us safe. His family crosses this bridge, and so he cares for it like his family is crossing the bridge. He's been working on this bridge for over 60 years. He tells me that the bridge has never failed an inspection. And I think that's pretty important for everybody to know because I don't think people realize just how safe this bridge is. This bridge is actually safer than the Chester Bridge. Using his natural ingenuity, he's created his own tools to fix things on this bridge. And they've worked so well that he's actually worked as a consultant on inspections for other bridges. He created a tool that would separate the cables so you can look inside, so everything gets inspected, even the inside of the cables. And Wayne has figured out ways to do that. I asked him about the dangers of working on the bridge. He said they've never had any serious injuries. Most of the danger has been traffic, cars. There were a couple of close calls, but there was this one time when they were painting on the bridge, and this was a long time ago before air conditioning was pretty common in cars. This guy was going across the bridge with his windows down and a paint hose cut loose. It painted not just his car, but it painted the guy, so he was not very happy about that. And there also was a time that there was a guy that was going through when they were trying to direct traffic, and he had foggy windows. They actually had to beat on his windshield to get him to stop. So when there's construction on the bridge, and there's still a lot of construction on the bridge, please be mindful of the people who are working on it. There was a time too in the 80s when there were a lot of bomb threats on the bridge. And Wayne had to climb every single tower from the bottom to the top to inspect it for bombs. Never was one. And I remember that in school we were getting a lot of bomb threats then too. I don't know why that was cool. And Wayne has not done this on his own. Wayne has a lot of family members who work for him and have worked for him over the years. I see a lot of people here that I've seen working on the bridge. Or some of you were sitting while Wayne was working on the bridge. If you're wondering if I'm talking about you, then I probably am. How many people here have worked on the bridge with Wayne? Yeah, a lot of people have been keeping our community safe on this bridge for a long time. If you know Wayne, you know that the most important thing to Wayne is family. So his brother Lester used to consult with him on the more difficult projects, and his children have worked on the bridge with him. Lisa has worked on the bridge with him. Lisa's daughter Jaden has worked on the bridge. In fact, Dave still works on the bridge. So that's why it's important that he had all of his family here with him to celebrate this day. Frank, his nephew, joined him working on the bridge in 2016, and he saw what a great gig this was. So he decided he would join in and purchase part of the Six Enterprises business. And then he realized when Fiesta Tableware decided that they would focus more on dishes, that he saw a lot of potential for improving the bridge even further. The tolls hadn't gone up under Fiesta Tableware for many, many years. And in order to make the bridge what it can be, the tolls did go up, but you're going to be so much improved on your travel across the bridge. So, it's not because Wayne is slowing down. I'm sure you've all still seen Wayne around town digging ditches and power washing the hollow and pushing dishes around at Fiesta Tableware. He's not slowing down, but he does have a new recruit of family to come in and help. And we're really fortunate that Frank took this big step, big investment, a lot of headaches. He did all that for all of us, because if this had been purchased by somebody from out of town, it wouldn't have been cared for the same way. You would lose the history of how the bridge should be taken care of. So we're thankful for Frank, and we're going to hear from him now. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Would ask everyone to please bow your heads. Now open your eyes. My daughter bet me $100 that I couldn't get everyone to look down. I want to thank Shannon, Casey Arnott, who's the bridge manager, Dave Elder, all the workers on the bridge, and everyone that's been putting extra time to get the bridge ready for today's event. My dad said one time, he said, to get anything done in life, it takes time and money. If you don't have enough of one, you have to have more of the other. And with Uncle Wayne, as a kid, they didn't grow up with any type of money. So everything that they did when they were young was just, playing the dirt or just worked on stuff. And everything that they worked on, if it broke, they had to learn how to fix it. They didn't have any money to go buy things to replace it, so they had to fix it. So with that type of ingenuity, Wayne has just, over the years, just learned how to do everything. Him and my dad and my brothers, they've become someone that anyone can go to because they know how to do so much. And anyone that knows Wayne and knows how my dad was, they know how whenever they work on things, they always like to add things into fixing them that aren't necessarily what should be to fix them. They'll go out back and grab a piece of scrap, or they'll grab something that is needed to make the repair. But for something, that they've done their whole lives that way, Wayne sat me down and he says, I understand, how normally, we fix everything and, you cut corners and everything, but whenever it comes to taking care of the bridge, he says, you can't cut any corners. Everything has to be done to a certain way, a certain spec, and everything has a procedure. It just has to be done a certain way. And, he has so much respect for the way this bridge is and the way it needs to be taken care of. And, his family crosses this bridge every day. He crosses the bridge. He just, the way that I see how much care he puts in dedication into this bridge and what he's done for the last 56 years, there is no one else that I would rather make this bridge named after. And so that's why, I've decided to name it after Wayne. And, the day that I bought the bridge is the day that I knew I'd be standing here. So, with that, I'd like to present to you Wayne 6.
Good afternoon. I want to thank Frank Six for this great honor. Maintaining the Newell Bridge has been a project that I, as owner of Six Enterprise, have had the pleasure of being a part of for over 50 years. I would never imagine that someday my name would be on the bridge. It's a tremendous honor. I want to tell you a little story, but some of you probably remember Paul Harvey. He was a news commentator, and he would tell a story. And then he would say after the commercial, I'll tell you the rest of the story. But here now I want to tell you the rest of the story. I come to work one morning as usual, and Frank said, come on in the office, I want to talk to you. I kind of thought maybe he wanted to let me go. As you get older, they kind of shove you aside and do without you. So, but anyway, he said, I'm going to rename the bridge. And I said, what name are you going to give it? He said, Wayne 6 Toll Bridge. And I said, I don't think you can do that. I think you have to be a politician to get your name on a bridge. So anyway, I've lived in the area. I've lived most of my life, or all my life, in this area. And the Newell Bridge has been a tremendous impact on all of our lives. Having the ability to cross over to Ohio quickly, safely, and for those who live in the Newell area as well, Visitors Mountaineer Racetrack, and to the many local factories, Homer Laughlin, China included, has increased our quality of life. I want to thank the previous owners of Homer Laughlin. I would give some names, but there's too many to mention. Over the 50 years, I've dealt with a lot of people. But anyway, thank them for their dedication and ensuring the bridge was well maintained and continued to be operational for many years. Their dedication and financial commitment to keeping the bridge in top shape is much appreciated. I would also like to thank the many employees that worked for me at Six Enterprise over the years on the bridge project. There's probably too many to name, but there's a few here today of some that worked back in the 70s. Gary Stevens, Bob Blair, I don't think Bob is here today. But then John Hissam. John Hissam was an important employee. Back in the 70s, we didn't have man lifts or any mechanical devices to raise us up to the top. So we had to use rope falls. I don't know if you're familiar with rope falls or not, but there's a set of blocks and a lot of rope. And they would tend to get tangled, especially when you took them down or put them up or moved them. John was an expert at untangling the ropes on the blocks, so I'd like to thank John for that. So. This project was one of our top priorities every year, and their dedication to make sure the work was done in a professional manner and to the needed specifications was very important. The fact that I'm most proud of is that though the bridge work can be dangerous, we worked more than 50 years without an accident or an injury. There might have been some minor scrapes or cuts or something, but there was no injuries of any importance. Our safety record was probably 100%. That's pretty good for 50 years. My wife, Wanda, used to tell me when I worked on the bridge, acting like my age went out the window. I would like to say she meant that as a compliment, but that wasn't the case. She was always concerned that I was going to get hurt. Late into my 70s and early 80s, I was still climbing the bridge like I was young. There's something about the bridge work that I really enjoyed. And in closing, I'm very thankful for this great honor. It makes it much more special that many of my family members are here today. I'd like to name some of them, but there's too many. My brothers Lester, Leonard, and Norman, I gained great knowledge from and great experience from when I was a young boy. My two older brothers were 11 years older than I was, and we was always worked together. I also wish my wife of over 50 years, Wanda 6, could be here to share this as well. She would have really enjoyed being a part of it. We traveled the bridge many evenings, going in different places, back and forth across the aisles. So that's all I got today. So thank you, everybody, for coming.
It says the Wayne 6 toll bridge. And a quote from Wayne, I have lived my entire life in the Newell area, and this bridge has had a tremendous impact on all of our lives. It has increased our quality of life and our economy, and I'm just glad I could be a part of that. And then at the bottom, it says, there has been a bridge spanning across the banks of the Ohio River, connecting Newell, West Virginia, and East Liverpool, Ohio since 1905. For over 56 years, Wayne 6 has kept it in great condition. To honor his time and hard work on the bridge, the Newell Bridge and Railway Company dedicated the bridge in his name. Wayne 6 Toll Bridge, July 4th, 2003. And at the bottom, it says, remembering loved ones who are no longer here with us, Wanda, Leonard, Lester, and Norman 6.
I forgot about one of the most important employees, Dave Elder. Dave has been with us about 40 years, I guess, and he's still with us today. So he was very important in everything we done. Thank you.
Hello. We thank everybody for coming out on the bridge today. It's hot, but there's a breeze, and we did something amazing. So let's all go celebrate the 4th of July and have a good and safe Independence Day. Thank you, everybody. We are going to take some pictures. If you want your picture with Wayne, just stay close here. Otherwise, we'll see you on the other side of the circle. We do have a souvenir gift for everybody that's here, so don't go too far without getting your souvenir. Thank you.